Hello you guys, and welcome back to the channel. We're picking right where we left off at the resistance front in the Hanging Edge. So our trench coat wearing, beanie wearing, blonde haired bombshell Snow is going to continue on the story now. So as I said, we kind of go through lots of different changes in characters. But Snow seems to very much be the leader of a particular resistance, and that resistance is known as NORA.
This is crazy.
Then take a nap.
Really? Can I?
Sure. And when we're taking a dirt nap, you can save them all.
Oh, that's even worse.
No dirt naps today. We're all in this together. Our enemy's the Cocoon Sanctum. Their dreaded Psycom, no less.
What's to dread? Psycom's nothing but a whole bunch of bluster and bullying. They've got nothing on NORA.
Well, we are the heroes
And
after
it is
all.
described as follows.
Let's prove it!
The paramilitary organization known as NORA is a group composed of like-minded youths assembled by Snow, and is self-funded by the operation of a seaside cafe in Bodom. Functioning as a neighborhood watch of sorts, NORA's members patrol the vicinity of Bodom for trouble. Most often, trouble consists of an encroachment by dangerous forms of wildlife. NORA had never openly acted out against the Sanctum prior to the Purge, and because of this, the military had been content to turn a blind eye to the group's activity. So again, we learned the last day that the Sanctum is basically the Cocoon's governmental army, and we also have here our stagger bars, and you know what we're noticing is LeBro, she kind of snipes for a lot of damage in a single hit, whereas Godot's machine gun fire seems to build up the stagger bar an awful lot more quickly. And yeah, like as I say, we also can go into abilities manually, and we can select hand grenade, which will do like an AoE explosive bit of damage, which is nice. But if you go with auto battle, sometimes the auto battle will just go with what it views as the best option, but you know, you can always manually override that and decide, no, I want to try and do AoE damage and things like that. So, like, a lot of people give Snow a lot of flack, but I think even just from reading the data logs, it's like they very much are not meant to be taken seriously. Like, they are, you know, a bunch of young people that naively are kind of in over their head, really. Like they've gone from like the neighborhood watch, you know, sorting out a few like wild animals and whatever, to now thinking, okay, we're gonna just like take on the government and like the little army. Like, as crazy as Lightning seems to be in like the last episode, at least she's like incredibly competent at like her job. But Snow, like that, even when he's saying there, he's like, we're the only hope people have. You know, he just has this ideal of being the hero, and you know, being the kind of you know, savior. But I think he is very much in over his head, as we will see as cutscenes and further character development will show. But I think that's really what, you know, this game tries to do with their characters. They kind of start off in these particular roles and archetypes, but they are able to grow from that. And you know, I think there's a lot to be said for characters that are imperfect and, you know, that have these flaws, that have these issues, and then, as you say, they then are able to learn and grow and become deeper, more complex characters as the story progresses. And this particularly happens with a particular character who, for the most part, is seen as really ditzy and like, you know, not to be taken very seriously. But this character is actually the narrator for the vast majority of the game. She's the over voice we heard in episode 1, and she's going to chime in with a certain commentary from the narrator's perspective, and
Don't worry. No one's moving
it allows
across
us to
today.
realize that, like, while she's
We'll
putting
clear
on
you
this
a path
ditzy
out of here, so
persona
be ready to-
and like playful childish persona, she in her thinking is, you know, very, very different, and it just goes to show the kind of layers that are on these characters.
Okay then. Volunteers front
But
and
yeah,
center.
like right now, this guy's literally saying, let's all of us just make an amateur militia, as if this isn't going to go potentially disastrously wrong.
Here's yours. Take care now.
And here we have the absolute legend herself, NORA S-Time.
Don't worry.
Again, just showing off the fact that, like, it's literally just mum, like mothers, fathers, kids, you know, it's crazy. All the people being displaced.
You sure?
Yeah. Moms are tough.
She's got a point. She's an icon. She's a legend. And she is the moment.
But, like, you know,
Right.
the absolute bravery
Last one,
in
boss.
that. But here we have the last gun, and
All right, last
the son
one.
of
Somebody
NORA
take it.
doesn't want to get involved. But here we have Vanille, our narrator, agreeing to take it. And we get such shade in her narration, you know?
Push comes to shove. Keep him safe.
First impression of snow? All talk.
So like that, you have Vanille
Alright,
putting
lay
on
low
this
and you'll be
childish,
fine.
oh
We'll clear
haha,
out
like
the
I'll just
area."
pretend to fire a gun, and he's kind of, you know, not taking her seriously. Whereas,
Going home
you know, her
together.
narration completely shows another side to her where it's like, she's analytical, she's been through a lot more than perhaps Snow has. You know,
Right.
she's kind of sitting there from a place of,
On me.
yeah, Snow's the big hero and all talk and feels like he knows what he's doing, but, you know, Vanille can kind of see through that, you know?
Time to go, kiddo.
And now mother and son are separated. Very sad.
We're not losing to SciComm, you hear me?
Yeah. So we can get some great accessories like an iron bangle, and since we have different, what's the word? We have different like characters, like Lightning has her iron bangle, and that's the problem where even though the inventory is shared, if you equip a character with an accessory and then they aren't in the party anymore, you can't like get it from the shared equipment, like it's still equipped to them. So for the early part of the game, we have to kind of be careful what we equip on whom, so it doesn't get kind of lost to us. But at the moment, we can spare ourselves. You know, there aren't that many accessories to go around, so we might as well just equip them now that we have them. You know. But having the 2 extra party members makes battles an absolute breeze. But like, talk about Snow bringing no gun, like he's literally bringing a fist fight to a gunfight, you know? Not exactly the wisest, but at least he has grenades, but like, in situations like this where it's like, oh, we don't have like, the particular grouping.
You see that?
But now that the wolf's over there, we can get it staggered and throw the grenade, and bam. The real strength is also in like the interrupt, like the fact that like the grenade bounces them in the air, and as useful as that is for the enemies, or yeah, for us to do to the enemies,
Right.
we can run the risk of that happening to us if the enemy uses like an explosive attack or like a wind attack, you know?
Put down the resistance.
And here we see SciComm, like they have those like cybernetic wolves, and here we have like a cybernetic behemoth basically. So Lightning and Saz had their kind of big encounter,
Heroes don't run from fights.
And here we have Snow's kind of boss encounter with this kind of mechanized, biological, bestial weapon, you know?
We fight and we survive.
And what I also love is the fact you'll notice that Godot and LeBro don't have, strictly speaking, don't have HP. And so if Snow ever gets really low on health, they will just automatically throw potions. This is like part of their AI. They're the only AI companions to do so because they're not specifically programmed like the other characters like Lightning and Saz. So there we can see LeBro was throwing a potion there, so I didn't really need to, but it's grand. But because they have question mark HP, they also can't ever die. So that's useful. And there we saw it there. We were actually launched into the air, but luckily our compatriots, you know, shot it down. And here we have our just, you know, civilian militia. And they're just completely outmatched. They're just completely outmatched. And like, again, this is like Snow thinking, I'm going to be the hero moment. And like, this seems to be his like fatal flaw. He just thinks, I'm going to be the hero. But in reality then, bang, he messed up. He overshot, missed bazooka. He's going to die. You know, the mega laser death cannon is going to like obliterate him and everyone that's there. But who's the real hero? Mrs. S time.
I told you, didn't I? Moms are tough.
That's what I'm talking about! That's why he's the MVP! That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
But, you know, disaster strikes. The big mechanized weaponry is just like, yeah, just blow up the bridge. Have them all fall down, fall apart, you know? It just goes to show, I suppose, the serious tone of this particular, you know, Final Fantasy right from the very beginning. I suppose 10 had a mass, like, citywide extinction as well. What am I saying? Yeah, it's just par for the course for a Final Fantasy, I suppose. Just mass destruction and death.
Get him home. Please.
Hold on.
But unfortunately, again, Snow trying to be the hero and reality just giving him a harsh lesson in reality where, you know, the story doesn't always have a happy ending.
She passed away? Oh. All right.
And with that, she wasn't able to brace her fall. Like, we have Hope just after witnessing his mum die. He's gone into complete shock, as anyone would in this like high stress, high pressure situation, you know?
Come on. We have to move.
Right.
And that's what I mean, like the characters are just so real, you know? They're flawed, they're real, they're going through all this stressful time, and like people really rag on Hope, the kind of boy who just watches his mum die, as being like, oh, he's so whiny, oh, he's so this, oh, he's so that, and you're like, this is a 14-year-old child who's literally just been put through an out-and-out massacre.
People won't even live long enough to die on pulse.
That was the idea.
What?
Sanctum logic. They conjured up the Purge to eliminate a threat. I mean, why carry the danger all the way to Pulse? Why not just stamp it out here? Execution masquerading as exile. That's all the Purge ever was.
Relocation to Pulse. How does the government get away with pulling crap like that?
Propaganda says.
And you knew this was gonna happen?
The Purge was SciComm. Private Sanctum troops, not the Guardian Corps.
SciComm, Guardian Corps. Soldiers are soldiers, aren't they? Pulse, Fal-Cie, and Ep2 are enemies of the state. Tell a soldier to kill an enemy, and you really think it's gonna matter what uniform he's wearing?
Might have mattered to that one. Couldn't shoot. Got himself shot instead.
How about you? Orders say shoot, you pull the trigger? Fine. Forget I asked.
And this is what I mean. I mean, people kind of give out and say, oh, they don't really give you anything. But, like, this has told us so much. The Sanctum have, like, the public, you know, Guardian Corps, you know, the police force. And then they have the SciComm, the, like, private special op troops. And SciComm is just ruthless and bloody. It was like, yeah, the public are going to know it as, oh, well, we had a risk of this horrible situation with the Bodum, you know, Pulse Vestige. We're going to just relocate all the people after being quarantined, like put them out to Pulse. And it was like, yeah, mass execution masquerading as exile, you know? And we just have to keep ourselves up with potions, but now once it's staggered, we can like start interrupting and do way more damage. And yeah, another big boss down, you know? And this is where positioning is so important, because like with characters like Saz that attack at ranged and Lightning that attacks up close, it really depends on where your characters are if they're going to be getting hit or not.
What's that? Huh?
So Lightning had said she was looking for the Pulse Vestige. Here it is. Or the Pulse Vestige. Here it is.
Sarah! Just what you were looking for.
Yeah. Right in there.
The Pulse Fal-Cie.
So you notice that Snow looked the Pulse Vestige and said, Sarah, who is that?
We'll be okay.
And yeah, just rub it in Hope's face that like he just lost his mom, you know? But that's where we're going to end the episode, guys, just after this cutscene. But, yeah, like a lot of stuff is moving forward,
much,
you know?
Isn't it? Face it later.
And that's Vanille's character in a nutshell. Run away from problems when they're too much.
Hey, wait!
Talk to you next time. Thank you for watching.
You said it made you happy when I smiled, didn't you? But really, I was afraid. I was always afraid.